This is Drake Batherson, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, this is Missin Curfew. Obes, the up dog, and our boy Jay Swish coming to you from Scottsdale. How we doing, boys?
Fellas, doing good. It's a nice morning. Lovely day in Newport Beach. I think we're getting into the 80s, Obes. A little mid-80s today through the winter. So summer's around the corner. Playoff hockey's at its finest. I'm ice cold in all my bets. But fuck, is it nice to be in the studio with you boys. Schmaltzy, how we doing, fella?
Fella, boys. I got to enjoy the last few weeks here in AZ where it's nice out in between 80 and 90. And, we're right around that Memorial Days where it really bumps up. So I still got, a couple of weeks here of prime time. So, yeah, boys, doing well. Fella Friday, always good snapping around with you guys. So let's get into it, baby.
Hey, how was, speaking of, what was the temperature last night when you went to the top of Camelback? Like, how long does it take you, and what was the temperature?
The temp last night was nice. It was probably sub 75, 80 degrees. I did this earlier in the day, so I did a pre-scout. So that was my actual workout portion of it. I wanted to go up there. I wanted to make sure we had some area to film our pod we were going to do for Hockey Night in Scottsdale. So I did it in the morning, and I did it in 25 minutes. My best ever, sub 22, 22 and a half. Now, the next time I went up with Bobby Gucci, we were about 50 to 55 minutes. So he was huffing and puffing. I brought some cigarettes just in case he needed them. But at one point, boys, I felt like I was fucking married to this guy because I had to carry his backpack and my backpack because that's how much he was dying. So I'm a team guy, Obi. I'll take one. I'll chew on that grenade. But I did feel like I was, almost in a married couple at that point. I'm like carrying his bag for him. I'm like, come on, Bob. Like fucking tighten up here, buddy. Put the sack back on. Let's go.
He does seem like a guy that has a little stamina, though, like the Kyle Wellwood of the days. Back when the guy shows up with just a barrel at training camp, but just crushes the VO2. I mean, after watching Bobby Gucci on the tennis court, I mean, he hung right in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'll battle. That's what he was going up there. He's like, yeah, it's just crazy what a decade of not working out will do for you. You know what I mean? He's like, it snuck up on me that 10 years. But, yeah, he battled. He was all right. But yeah, we got some great content up there, and it was a lot of fun.
And when he smokes like doobies, right? Like he's smoking, bud,
yeah,
spliffs,
spliffs or bud.
That'll slow your lungs down too.
Did you stuff your backpack with a case of the blue lights, or?
No, honestly, we didn't. We were up against it in terms of time for sunset, so we just had a little spliff on the way down, and it was like dark when we were coming down, so it was a little sketchy. I didn't want to be half lit when we were doing it, but that's a good idea. Fuck, we should bring some beers up there next time.
See, that's the worst part about hiking is you got to go back down. Yeah. You get to the top, you're like, there should be a chairlift that takes you back down. Like once you accomplish your goal, grab a blue light and then just ride her down.
But usually by the time you get up,
hit the weed pen.
You're going back down with less stuff.
Going down sucks.
There's usually a garbage can up there, hopefully. Is there a garbage can up there? You could just throw all your empties in there and cruise back down with a lighter bag?
No, there's not.
Does walking downhill not suck? Or down a mountain?
It's the worst. And Obes, I mean, earlier in the day, I saw someone getting picked up on a helicopter because I think they either had a jammer or they, blew out their knee. But there's helicopters, there's choppers.
Or they're just fucking fuck you, Rich, and they got the chopper picking them up at the top of the mountain. Eh? Now that's a flex. Now I would go hiking if I could afford a chopper to pick me up at the top, jump on. Come on, boys, let's go back to the house.
The old Uber Black chopper, $4,500 to pick you up.
Dude, I don't know if I'll ever get in a helicopter again.
Yeah.
Like
after that Hudson River one, that
one was scary, and that one to me, obviously a tragedy, but it was a bad day too, right? Not a clear day in New York.
Yeah,
it's just like why did you risk that?
Yeah, but it was you go in, there's no gas, and the fucking back propeller flies out. Like that's some fucked up shit,
dude. I was scared when we were in the last time I've been in a chopper was in Ireland with you boys, and I sat in the front of the way over there, and I'm like. I hated it. I'm like, I'm going in the back on the way back.
Those at least have double engines, so if one goes down,
yeah,
you can rely on one wing. But that's scary, man.
I would fly the one the bumper flies around in though. The
Air Force,
the chopper he has looks sick. Like that's like a big boy. I'd get in that bad boy.
Well, no kidding, with him too.
Yeah. If you like to have
Slide on over bumper, eh?
Yeah, heads up. Well, throw me a Diet Coke there, fella. Swishy, keep the content rolling out. Big fans of Hockey Night in Scottsdale. Bobby Gucci, lay off the fucking doobies, fella, eh? Lay off the doobies. Boys, I'm heading to Vegas tonight. Shout out to Todd Pickup, T-Rex. Game 2, heading in there. Ice pick, are you ready to rock, fella? Like, are you going to get in one tonight or what?
Well, maybe not in one, but I'm ready to rock tonight for the game.
So looking forward to taking that in. Boys, Chris Pronger on the ESPN panel. I love Prong sitting there with the Stanley Cup ring on. Not easy just to, as we know, we're all in this business, right? When we started Missin Curfew, and Swishy, I don't know about you with Hockey Night in Scottsdale, but it's not as easy as you think, right? You think, oh, I did interviews my whole time playing. I'm going to, sit down, and you need reps. You need to get better at this. And I think if you listen to the first couple Missin Curfews to, whatever we're at now, 390 shows almost, hopefully we're better. Hopefully we're not worse. But it's nice to sprinkle some different guys in. I know TNT's bringing Talks back. Big Rig Patty Maroon's going to have the hair slicked back, ready to rock. I like this come playoff time because it's every night, right? A lot of work. Sprinkle in these guys, the Hall of Famers like Prongs.
Absolutely. I think football's blessed with so many games and so many telecasts that all their ex-players can showcase personality, showcase insight, right? And TV's not, there's no question TV is a different animal. We're in the business of long-form conversation, Obes, and thank God we got a guy, two amazing guys back there, and in T-Pick and KC, my man. But the foodie, we get our points across. Might take a little bit longer than 60 seconds. I would say for Prongs, the advantage there is having a professional like Steve Levy, sliding things over right on your tape. Yeah. Stevie can make a nice pass.
I just wrote
the tape.
I literally just wrote that down. Like, I don't think Steve Levy gets enough credit for how good of a host he is, right?
It's unbelievable.
People always pump Liam McHugh's tires on TNT. I think Steve Levy's better, in my opinion, as a host.
James Duffy's the man, too.
James Duffy is the man.
He's the man, too. So, and I was blessed to have an opportunity with TSN to do trade deadline a couple times. And that's unlike, TV that can go into double overtime, triple overtime. But you're talking hockey, boys. And when we get down to the nitty and gritty, the players, the coaches, the way the playoffs work and the flow, you just be out there and speak your mind. And Prongs is he's a legend. He played the game fucking hard in the right way. He was a super prick. But people want super prick. But people want to hear what he wants to say. And like you just said, it's nice to have a couple different guys up there showcasing their thoughts. Schmaltzy.
For sure. And a guy like Prongs, too, he's not scared to share his opinion. That's a good thing. And especially when you're on TV and you're trying to grow the game of hockey or paint a picture of that to your non-traditional hockey fans, I think if Prongs puff out the shoulders, be himself. I love when he gets activated on Twitter, too. If he can bring some of that persona to ESPN, and he did a solid job on his debut the other night, but just even keep going further, push the envelope a little bit, be more opinionated. Tell even PK to, hey, zip it, fella. I've won before. I was, a big time player. Not that PK wasn't, but I just think that back and forth they can create a little bit more, just not confrontation, but just each have different opinions, and that creates great TV. So I think that's something Prongs can really bring to the table. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, you teed me up. I'm going to do my milk carton right here in the intro. I'm putting Dave Jackson, the old referee that called quite a few minors on me throughout my early parts of my career. And Dave, this is nothing personal. I thought you was a great ref. You could always talk to him. Good guy. Like I said, called a few too many minors on me early in my career, but I probably deserved it. But just, come on, man, disagree with something. Like, every time there's a call or there's something, he disagrees with it. Oh, you know what? They maybe didn't see it. Or, yeah, that's the right call. Like, let's just say if Tim Peel was on there, I think Tim Peel would stir the pot a little bit more. So, Dave, if you're listening, I know you probably don't give a fuck, but come on, man. Like, stir it up a bit. Don't just agree with everything. Like, every time it comes to Dave, and look, he's a good guy and, like, a legendary ref, but I would like to see, like, Swishy saying ups disagree the odd time. That's what we want. We want some controversy.
You know what I would say on that is be the same guy you were on the ice when you determined a call, and how you were so set in your set stone ways when you made a call. Like, hey, no, that was a fucking trip, O'Brien. Don't come over here. Like, bring a little bit of
that was a hole.
Yeah. No, weren't moving your feet, Obes. You're fucking caught in the corner. The guy was blowing by you. But give a little bit of that, like,
It's funny because it's true.
What refs, they act on their instinct and then they stick to it, whether they're wrong or they're right. When the coach calls them over and says, that's a blatant miscall, or that's a blatant fucking, the guy didn't touch him. Dave didn't touch him. And Dave's just like, no, his face gets all red and he loses his mind. But have a little bit of make a decision. You got the TV cameras, stick to it, and create a little controversy.
I agree. Swishy, I agree.
But don't you think those guys, the referees, because, they're unanimously hated essentially by fans and players and even teams at times when they miss those calls. So I think he, in a sense, is protecting a fraternity a little bit. We're afraid to step on toes. It's like, Dave, just remove yourself from that. Put yourself in the entertainment business and fucking go at these guys if they make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Just go at them. It's great for TV. I think he just tries to protect them like they're his cubs, like they're his own, where it's like, come on, man, that doesn't create the best TV. It's just like, well, yeah, I think that was a great call, but I don't know. It could be offside.
Yeah,
it could be offside.
That's what he does. That's exactly what he does. It's just like, fella, cut it straight. Was that a fucking bad call or not? And it's nothing personal. It's like when we come on Missin Curfew and we call out guys, it's like, it's nothing personal. We're watching the game as ex-players. This is our opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. But this is how we feel. And I just think with him, Swishy, the impression you just did was so on. He's just like, he couldn't maybe see him. And listen, like the one with Rodriguez in the embellishment last night. Fuck off. That's not an embellishment. That's a fucking terrible call. And Dave Jackson tried to fluff it up, being like, well, maybe he did go. I'm like,
you've never been hit, Dave.
Yeah, Lawton drove him in from behind.
Totally.
Like, fucking
even penalties there. Totally. 2 minutes. 2 minutes boarding. See you later.
Yeah. But
scoring on the PP, please.
It's nothing personal, right? Swishy, like, just be honest.
No, I completely agree. I just think for the entertainment side of things is you got a job to do, and sometimes if you got to disagree with some of the guys you worked with back in the day, so be it. Shit happens. We all make mistakes. But hey, I wanted to ask you, you think that was an embellishment?
No.
I don't think. Really?
I didn't think it was.
I thought he sold it a little bit.
Yeah?
I did. Yeah, I thought he felt numbers and he sped himself up into the boards. I don't think it warranted an embellishment penalty, but I do think he sold it a little bit.
I just thought he drove him in from me. I didn't think it was like worth a 5 in a game or anything. I just thought it was a penalty and he kind of hit him in the numbers.
Yeah, like I think if he holds onto a stick, maybe like he let go of the stick, that might have been the embellishment part of it. But there's no question like that there was some force and that he was 2 feet from the boards and he did have to play the puck. So he's in an awkward little stance. I don't know. To me, it's just a 2 for boarding.
Yeah.
Move on.
That's what it is. That's what I agree with that. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot less fucking shit called and not embellished. You know what I mean? So it's like, fellas, let's be careful here. If we're going to start calling that an embellishment, there's lots of guys out there that once they get a little fucking on their arm or something, they fucking flop. Like, so I just think that's a slippery slope calling an embellishment on a guy that got hit from behind, clearly. Now, maybe when he went down, Swishy, up, he's right, dropped his stick and kind of tried to maybe take it from a 2 to a 5. I mean, that's just gamesmanship, I think. No, like, maybe I can get a fucking 5-minute major out of this. Like, they're tossing guys out of games left, right, and center in the first round. Maybe if I go down and go off like he did, I do think he wasn't as hurt as he pretended to be.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think you guys are right. 2 minutes for boarding, move on. I just thought he sold it a little bit on the exit or the dismount is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Kyle, can we pull that up real quick before we move on?
Like he kind of crumbled like in a way where the force didn't really match.
At the end, he sold it for sure.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, and he kind of drops his stick, and I don't know if Kyle can pull it up here. Yeah, he can. What a pro, Casey. Attaboy.
Yeah, he drops his stick as he's getting hit, and it kind of falls on the ice, and that's where the embellishment is. But
I just thought he knew what he was doing.
There is some good acting by him though when he's on the ice, like up he's saying, grabbing his face and stays down. I mean, and that, by the way, Lawton, Schmidt didn't even fucking drop his gloves. And by the way, he's been awful this series, Nathan Schmidt. But I didn't think he didn't deserve the penalty. Lawton dropped his gloves first, and then he was just kind of in on it. But that's because I had my money on Florida, probably. But
no, that's bad reffing. That's just bad reffing, is what that is.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Yep.
But I can see what you're saying here. There's a little Oscar-worthy performance here at the end here, taking his time, being like, I'm going to milk this one. Maybe I can get 5 for the boys.
Which isn't a bad idea either.
Because his hands do take a bit of the... Like, he doesn't hit his face on the
If
glass.
Rodriguez got up and chased Lawton down the ice, then it's probably just a 2. Like,
yeah.
Then he doesn't get the embellishment.
Yeah, no.
If you lay there, though, you do. If you get up and try to chase him down because you knew it was dirty, the game within the game. But
The game within the game, baby. So shout out to Steve Levy, though, friend of the show. He's absolutely killing it. Moving on here, Jay Swish. The hockey club is no more, fella. And it kind of brings a little tear to my eye. I love calling them the Utah Hockey Club. But the Utah Mammoth, I saw the jerseys. The home ones look good with that logo right there. And I like how they're keeping the Utah across the chest on the away whites. But what do you think of the names? Nicky Schmaltz fired up. The Mammoth, I like that. I mean, I think it's better than the Yetis, which I don't think they could have done because of the Yeti cooler. But I think they made the right call.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Nicky Schmaltz because he's been playing 36 holes a day, and I'm trying to grind and work. So I haven't really asked him yet, but I'm going to see him tomorrow, and I'll get his opinion on the new nickname. But boys, I don't know. I was kind of not in love, but I really liked the hockey club.
Yeah, me too.
So I really liked how it looked on the merchandise. I liked how it looked just across the chest. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll have to get used to this Mammoth name, but I really like the hockey club, and the Mammoth logo. It is solid, Obes, but I don't know, man. Something about hockey club and European football, and it had a nice little ring to it.
Yeah, those are sharp unis.
I think it's a great uni.
Yeah.
I think it's a great logo. I think it's a great logo. The little horns, you don't want to sit on one of those things.
Oh, no.
That's it's a good looking tarp now, boys. They're competing with I love it. Immediately they're in the talks for the fucking sharpest jersey in the league.
That's a nice lid right there. You could golf in that hat right there.
Good logo, good colors, beauties.
I mean, you know what? They're a team that on July 1st, I think we've all agreed upon this. We're going to keep an eye on there. I think they're going to make some big moves and really try to make a push for the playoffs. So the Utah Mammoth, a.k.a. they'll always be the hockey club in my heart, Swishy. I'm with you. Last but not least, here in a little intro, some news here at Missin Curfew. I know Princey loves this. Our YouTube channel will now be dropping at the same time as the podcast every Wednesday and Friday morning. The YouTube was waiting to be dropped on DKN Network in the afternoon. That was a request from DraftKings. They no longer want that. So check us out on YouTube every Wednesday and Friday morning, the same time it will drop as the audio. So give that a look. Check out the studio. See how the boys are looking. Check out Up Dog's hair, Swishy's hats. Check
the outfits.
Check us out on YouTube. Hey, Swish?
Yeah, go like and subscribe on YouTube. Get that channel going, and also comment on the videos. Say, your favorite line from that episode, or, maybe some people you'd want to see on the show. Get activated in the comment section on YouTube, as well as going to like the videos and subscribe. Send it to your coworkers, your side pieces, whoever. We're trying to build up the Missin Curfew YouTube page, so it all helps to the algorithm. So go watch on YouTube.
That's well said. Before we go to break, let's not forget this show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Fellas, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Missin Curfew DK Playoffs presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. All right, Up Dog. I think we got to start. We got to start with your Oilers.
Let's go, baby.
We got to start with your Oilers.
What a fucking game. Game 1. The series doesn't even start till fucking game 2, they say. But
I'll tell you what, though. Sorry to cut you off there. I thought Calvin Pickard was on his way out of the fucking net at the start of the game. I'm like, I had the over 2. I'm like, this fuck is going to be, it didn't hit. I missed it by the hook. It was 6 and a hook. It was 6.
Me too.
I'm like, Calvin's going to get blown out of the fucking T-Mobile Arena here today. And give the kid credit, man. He hung in there, kept them in it. And then the boys turned her up a notch or two. And to me, well, let's get your thoughts first.
No. Listen, boys, there's no question that the Edmonton Oilers are the team you love to hate and you hate to love, because you don't know what you get out of them every night. Although it's an onslaught of offense, of some turnovers, of some tight checking. Now, what we're seeing at Edmonton is like this evolution of actually how to play a playoff game. I think as the playoffs have gone on, we saw some disappointment. We saw some players not up to par, or maybe some guys coming back and now there's depth. Now there's these 4 lines coming out and playing hard hockey. And just to think that we were doubting them not 5 games ago, in the last series, that, geez, these guys can get swept and Connor's going to be disappointed again. I don't know. I look at this team now, boys. If this goalie can make some timely saves and keep these guys in the game, you got to play your best. You got to play your best defensive game against these guys at all times, because now you're not getting just offense from Connor and Leon, but you're getting Hyman feeling it. You're getting, the Yanmarks of the world feeling it. Arvidsson's coming back and playing some great hockey. And then their D-Obes are stepping up. As a D-man, you got to be like, wow, these guys are, these no-name guys are stepping up and making some big minutes count.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I would say the one guy who didn't doubt them was old Gene Principe. Remember when we had Gene on at Crypto? He came on, they're down 2-0. Or no, they're down 1-0 and, didn't look good. And Gene was like, obviously they want to get past the Kings quickly here, but they don't underestimate him. And I'm like, fuck, Gene was onto something. Cut his hair. But Swishy, what are you thinking on this series?
Well, I mean, you're getting timely play from some of their defensemen in Edmonton, and every game's it goes, it seems like these guys are elevating their game. Klingberg, Wallman, they've been solid. But the one guy I want to point out on just up front is Zach Hyman. I mean, since he came over from Edmonton, 60 playoff games, OB, 33 goals, 22 assists, plus 19. So that's good for 55 points in 60 games, clipping at about a point per game there. So that's just the secondary scoring you need. Obviously, Connor Brown with an unbelievable goal the other night as well. But I'm looking on the Vegas side. And I'm looking even at Alex Pietrangelo. He misses game one. I thought that was the worst series I've seen him play in the playoffs in some time against Minnesota. I don't think he was great. Our boy Ike's, I don't know. He didn't look, up to snuff against Minnesota as well. And that's kind of bled into this series, at least into game one. I mean, obviously Mark Stone with 2 goals there, but I just think Vegas, they look off right now. And Edmonton's coming in and they're starting to feel themselves and they're starting to really build their game as the playoffs go. So I'm interested to see how this game 2 goes, because Edmonton, I think they're going to keep raising their level. And can Vegas get back to the regular season Vegas and really establish their game, especially at home?
The mojo is starting to build, right? 5 in a row.
Right.
Calvin Pickard. What I call him Picard. Calvin Pickard. I mean, he's playing street hockey like I used to out there. He looks like me in the net back at 38 Highland Drive, but he's finding a way to get it done. To me, on the Vegas side, it's the slowest I've ever seen them look. To me, they couldn't keep up. Once the Oilers got their footing and got going and started coming in waves, like Uppy saying, with their depth, and Connor Brown looks as healthy as I've ever seen him since coming off ACL surgery. To me, Vegas couldn't keep up. They look slow. Theodore's got to be a hell of a lot better. If Petro does come back in, he's got to be the Pietrangelo of old. And Aiden Hill, man, he has got to be better than he was. I'm not saying all the goals were his fault, but he wasn't great against the Wild. And if they do want to get past his high-octane Oilers, Aiden Hill's got to be better.
And I would just point out one more thing, boys. A team's feeling it when you have 5 consecutive comeback wins. When this team, they never feel like they're down.
They don't care about getting
They
down.
don't care.
They almost like it, I think.
It's unbelievable.
They're like,
You're
let's go, boys.
Down 2. It's a better's dream.
It is better's
you
dream.
miss getting in your money line bet to start the game off. They're down 2. You're like, okay, now I fire. It's just been, like you said, Obes, confidence is a crazy thing in this game. And when you have these guys 11 wins away now from,
he's got the countdown going, Swiss. He's got the countdown
I'm
going.
already placing all the pucks in the.
He's got the countdown
I'm
going,
placing
Swiss.
the pucks in the playoff bracket already, boys. They're 11 wins away. Connor can taste it already. You're going to see his game elevate to another level. It's exciting. I'm excited for the game tonight, boys.
I will say this, looking at Vegas, is good job, Kyle. That second line ain't perfect. Brandon Saad, is that his first name? Brandon Saad, with his awful turtleneck and his awful hair and his slow boots. When they picked him up, I told T-Rex and Todd Pickup and the boys, this guy stinks. He looks as slow as I would look out there. Well, maybe not that slow. And then Olafson's a pure sniper, but he's kind of soft. I love their third line and I love their fourth line, but to me, that second line there could be a difference in the series. It could be. You know what I mean?
And they're missing Pavel Doriev right now, too.
Yes.
The leading goal scorer.
So that bumps everyone down. You're right. That's huge.
And Petro.
That's why Olofsson slots in, is because Pavel Doriev's out. But yeah, you're right. That second line's not perfect. Saad, cut your fucking hair.
Cut your hair.
Damn it.
Enough's enough. Looks awful.
And Theodore, I don't know what's going on with him, but when Connor Brown flew past him, what a play, by the way. But when he did that, I'm like, is that the Shea Theodore that I know? That was, a top pairing at the Four Nations, and is he still just kind of banged up from that?
Yeah, he hasn't been himself since coming back from the wrist injury or whatever he had. That doesn't look bad there. Actually,
Trying to be Chad.
Side pro. Good jawline on him. I got to give him that. Hey, it's good jawline. We'll see what happens in game 2. You got to think Vegas has a good response at home here, but either way, Edmonton's gone in and stole one. Let's see if they can get the second one. I'm going to go Canes and Caps. Casey, you can chime in here too. I watched that entire game. It was a bit of a snoozer, but just the pace of the Hurricanes. I mean, Logan Thompson, who I think Richie said, talked about how well he was playing. He kept the Caps in that game. But at that pace of play, I don't know if the Caps can keep up with that. We'll see what happens tonight. But KC, as a Caniac diehard, what did you think in game one? You got to be feeling pretty good, fella.
Yeah, I felt good. They really carried over that overtime they had. They were just dominant against the Devils, and they kind of looked the same way. Outshot them a ton, looked good, but that's our problem every year is we end up not being able to score, and we got to win games, by more of a margin than we did the other night. So we'll see what happens tonight. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Swish?
I just think that they can't play at their pace. I think the way that they put their defensemen under duress, the way that they flip pucks out, they chip them out, and they just they slash support across the ice. They put everyone into foot races, and they end up winning those foot races. And Washington just looked overwhelmed. They couldn't play at the pace or the tempo that the Carolina Hurricanes want to go at. And if they could keep going like that, this series might be quicker than we think. But at the same time, I think Ovechkin and the boys, they got to get to their cycle game. They got to slow the game down. They have to hold on to pucks in the offensive zone. They have to really get their ground game going if they do have a chance to kind of disrupt how the Canes want to just go, go, go. So we'll see how game two goes. But yeah, they looked fast, and they just looked all over the puck, like white on rice, baby.
They're just coming in waves, and their back end is so good. I mean, it's like Gossespur and Walker as their 5-6 is just such a. I mean, Gossespur, this kid, he's unbelievable the way he can move and the way he makes plays and walks the line. And Svechnikov has turned himself into a big fucking shooting forward, man. Like he's as strong as anyone out there. I think the other night he had I don't know how many shots on that. 9, did I hear, or something crazy? So I like this team. By the way, I just wanted to mention this big Protus, this big bastard. Uppy's always good at, who guys remind him of. He reminds me of Dustin Penner.
He looks like him too.
I mean, the other day on that first goal, I don't know, Kyle, if you could pull it up when they kind of poked it by them and they went down on a 2-on-1. The way he was skating, I'm like, wow, that's Pens. And the same way he was holding the stick and everything, and he's just as big as Pens. But
do you think he runs the DJ in the room?
No. I don't think he's doing as much damage these days. Pandemic. I don't think he's doing as much damage as Pens is doing either. But that's okay, Casey. We don't need it. But moving on here, DK playoff series recap. Up dog Leafs are up 2-0. This one was expensive for the fellas last night. What are your thoughts on this? And then I'll give you mine.
Yeah, Big Scott back in Newfoundland's a happy camper. Waking up today. I mean, who would have thought that Toronto Maple Leafs in the second round would be going to Florida with a 2-0 lead, and the whole city just fucking so fired up. It's beautiful to see, actually. It makes me happy that Canada is getting this good play from their cherished team, the Buds. But I think Florida has a lot more to give. I think Bobrovsky
makes it a fucking save.
At times he made great saves, Oves, but
did he?
But you expect him to not give up one from the half wall like that. But man, it's been back and forth. I like the fuck you attitude that we're now seeing from both teams. I think there was the end-to-end play. Willie Stiles, what hands on that pass? Pacioretty's, playing out of his mind for two Achilles surgeries in the last 3 years. I mean, this guy, there's nothing much he can't do right now. But it's a great series. I expect this to go long, boys. This is not over. The Cats, how many times do you doubt these guys in the last couple of years? They come back and play a great game. But thoughts?
You know what? I listen. You got to give the Leafs some credit, right? They're and to Craig Berube, they play almost a style of where they did give up some chances last night. I'm not saying they locked it down completely, but they almost wait for they did it against Ottawa, and in the first 2 games, they wait for you to make a mistake because they know they have such high skill, such high octane that Berube has made them realize how to play defensively, that when you make a mistake, they jump on you. They've played great. They've done exactly what they're supposed to do, hold serve at home. From the Florida Panthers perspective, I don't know if they thought this was going to be easy, but first things first, when you score a goal, that next shift is so important. And in game 2, it was like they score and give one up right away. That's not championship DNA. That's not normal for the Florida Panthers. And for me, let's make this fucking ugly, boys. The time is now. Let's go Chucky. Let's go Marshy. Let's go Eki. Seth Jones, to me, has got to play with some more bite to his game. This Nikola guy, number 77, he's been fucking god-awful. But I just think they need to make it dirty and make it mean and get in there, because if they play this style of Swishy, in my opinion, I don't care where the games are. I think it favors the Leafs, my man.
Yeah, and you heard comments yesterday after the game from Brad Marchand saying that, oh, wow, this team showed up this year to play. So I think they're even a little bit stunned in terms of, okay, wow, these guys are for real. They're ready to play. Their coach has them, playing with a different attitude. He's instilled a different persona into this team, especially at playoff time. But I just think it's going to come down to, you're going to need a little more from Austin Matthews, I think. I think to win this series, you're going to need a little bit more from your captain. Obviously, Willie Nylander is flying around. He's got 13 points in 8 playoff games. Mitchie Marner looks solid. I think you're going to need a little bit more secondary scoring from your big guys in terms of even Tavares getting activated a little bit more, and as well as 34. And I'm interested to see if this Woll kid keeps kicking. Is he the answer? Can he outplay Bob for the next 4 games if he does have the net, or if Stolarz comes back? So I think there's still a lot of questions. I think Florida's they're not in a great spot, but they'll be fine. If they can hold court at home, they'll be just okay. But they, like you said, Obes, I think they got to play a little nastier and bring that criminal element back into their game.
Yeah, exactly. Criminal element, well said. And I would like to see AJ Greer back in the lineup. I don't think he's hurt. I thought he was a healthy scratch last night. And when I do look at their back end, fuck, they miss Monty Kidd. They miss Montour. They miss Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Like Seth Jones and Ekblad, they're almost the same fucking guy, really. Like when I watch them both play, like Seth Jones isn't that offensive. I thought he had a little more offensive flair to his game. And Nate Schmidt, a guy who's had an unbelievable career, is great in the dressing room. Everyone loves him. I don't know, Cooley, Mikhailov. I don't know if I'm not going to rip for it. Like their back end doesn't have much speed to it anymore. And the Leafs, to me, like how many times did you see last night the fucking Panthers defense chasing them? I'm like, as a defenseman, you never want to be skating forward back in your own zone. It's just a bad feeling, and you get tired, and you can't read it. So time will tell. They're heading home. I'm going to slam the Panthers in Game 3, though, on DraftKings Sportsbook. Last but not least, with the DK playoff recap, Stars-Jets. Good hockey game last night. I mean, I had a parlay with the Panthers, so once the Panthers lost, I really had no money on the game except for I have the Stars in the series. Rantanen's on a mission.
Oh, my God.
Both goalies played well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this series get a little more heated, too. I know it's game 1 filling out process ups, and they both came off game 7s, but I want to see this get a little ugly. I want Adam Lowry to do something. Get this
I
going.
think Ottinger is the key here, boys. I think this is a goaltending duo. May the best goaltender win. Ottinger, just every time I think of this kid, he's a playoff guy. He loves these moments. You watch them zoom in on his face, like late in the game, they're down 1. They're just peppering him with shots. And this kid is calm as a cucumber is. So, I mean, expect a long series. I hope it turns into a little bit of a war.
I want to get mean. Let's get mean.
I hope so. But, Scheifele back there again, like he played well last night. This team is offensive, man. When Winnipeg wants to step on it, they really bring it to you. So, again, goaltending is a key. I thought Dallas' D did a great job. Is that Lindell? Is that his name?
Lundell, yeah.
Lundell. Fuck, is he ugly out there?
Yeah, terrible style, but he gets it done.
He does. He gets it done. And then Cece, I thought, played a pretty good game last night. Like, he's out there eating pucks, eating minutes.
Playing big minutes for them.
So a good, listen, I think this is going to be a good long series, too. And this, these teams right here, this can battle for coming out of the West. I think both of these teams have as good a chance as anybody in the West.
I don't have money on either one of them.
Do you think Winnipeg? It looked like they almost had a little bit of a lull of a game, though. I think that St. Louis series took a toll on them, boys.
For sure.
They threw 320 hits in that St. Louis series. It was by far the most out of any series, and they took a lot as well. I don't know the total number on there. I'll have to check the Elias Sports Bureau, but I just think in terms of, I thought Winnipeg kind of took a lull. Maybe they were just like, oh fuck, we're ready back into a series, so they'll have a good response come game 2. I just thought that first game they looked a little sluggish, or just like, oh, they're still kind of feeling their way out of that St. Louis series, because that was a hell of a tilt, that one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And it's almost like I never played 7 games in the show, but I can only imagine it's almost better to start on the road after a 7-game series, because you're with all the boys, you're in the hotel, you're like, all right, boys, new series, let's get going. At home, you're like, whew, thank God we fucking, like Hollaback said after the series, like the weight of the world was off his shoulders. I mean, all you did was beat a wild card team out of the first round, and it's like that's how much pressure he was feeling. So time will tell. I want to see Lowry and Ben fucking get a little fucking ugly. I want to see him get a little ugly. And you got to give credit to the Winnipeg beauties up there. At one point, to Ottinger, they were chanting U.S. backup. That's they're chanting out. I'm like, holy fuck, boys. Have another one up there. So those beauties in the peg, keep it going. I love seeing the whiteout outside. Everyone's wearing fucking cowboy hats from beer cases. They're beauties up there. So up dog. Speaking of beer cases, get this guy a Labatt Blue.
Brought to you by Labatt. With Labatt, you can buy beer and get gear. Go to their website, snap a photo, fellas, of your receipt, and upload it to gain points towards exclusive merch. Any size, any product, anywhere you're buying Labatt. Sign up at rewards.labattusa.com, fellas.
Get them in, you boys. Listen, I'll start dishing, boys. I'm dishing 3 Labatt Blues, and I know one of my guys absolutely loves Labatt Blues, but I'm going to start with John Klingberg. Besides his heel pick in Game 1 against Vegas, which could have got real ugly, but he did save it with his stick. The breakout outlet pass to Draisaitl, I believe, on the first goal. I can't remember. Unbelievable breakout pass. His ability to make plays, he looks as strong as I've seen him ever since he's come back from the injury. They need him to play this well. So John Klingberg, with his breakout passes, his vision, and his way to play defense right now, get yourself a Labatt Blue. And then the worm, Corey Perry. Pears, get yourself a Labatt Blue. Listen to this stat, boys. Pears has made the playoffs 17 of 20 years in the NHL. 17 of 20 years. He's playing on the top line. You can see his confidence too, right? He's doing old Corey Perry stuff. The goal he scored where he hung on to it, came around. So Pears, get yourself a Labatt Blue. And then last but not least, I take this guy on my team any day of the week. And I like to I take him to the club with me too, because I think he could do some damage. Willie Stiles, Willie Nylander, 6 goals, 7 assists. He's playing unbelievable. Berube said, his skill is through the roof. And he said, all the Nylander tells me is to leave him alone and don't talk to him. So I don't talk to him. So good on him. Get yourself a Labatt Blue. This guy, he's sick up, dog.
Yeah, he is, boys. Listen, I'm going to slide a beer to Trent Frederick, a guy that's just starting to come around. Hip injury, tough one to crack, but he's back in the lineup now, second series. He's starting to be a real figure for the Oilers. But, boys, 2-2 game, tight game in the third. He comes in, he misses a shot that he knows he wants back, and he absolutely goes Bo Jackson on his hockey stick.
This is totally
He
Bo.
snaps it right over his fucking head. I've never seen this before. I've always wanted to do it.
Bo knows.
But I've never seen it, Obes. And that is when you know a guy's just a freak. When he just cracks his fucking stick over his head.
What?
Look at Bo Jackson do it here. Whackle.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy.
I would have just loved to see that real time on the bench. I would have looked at him and you're an absolute beauty.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, before we turn it over to Swishy, Trent Frederick was a guy when the Oilers picked up that I was really excited about because at that time, although the Oilers have the puck the entire game in the regular season, the Oilers were last in the league in hits. And to bring Frederick in, I just like, this is a great fit. Battling through a high ankle, I think it was. But he's skating as well as he has. And that third line that he's playing on right here, let me pull it up real quick. Of him, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown has been huge for them. And if Freddie keeps going and brings that physicality, he's huge for the Oilers. So, Swishy, who you dishing, bud?
Trent Frederick, first off, boys, the pride of Chesterfield, Missouri, son of a dad that owns a roofing company. So he is blue collar. So he's probably broken a bunch of shit over his head before just, being a good blue collar kid. So that makes sense there. But I'm dishing one to none other than friend of the show, Gene Principe. This guy came on our show at crypto.com, had the lettuce going. I asked him what the concoction was in the hair. Was it a little peanut butter? Was it a little petroleum jelly? Was it some 87 unleaded? And, he gave us his recipe of how he styles it. But then he gets his hair cut before the second round starts. And I was like, oh, fuck. Is he going to mess with the mojo of the team? But sure as shit, he made the right call. The Oilers are up 1 early, so we'll see if it holds. But he's looking clean cut. Gene, looking good, fellas. So just wanted to dish him an icy cold Labatt Blue for not only cleaning it up, but the Oilers cleaning up their game as well. So let's see what they can do here, boys.
Yeah, he's a beauty. It's getting the weather's getting nice in Edmonton, right? He's probably like, I gotta get, he's probably sitting on a patio. He's like, fuck this, I'm getting rid of this lettuce. Like, look, he looks clean cut there. Looks nice.
It looks nice. I love that we dished 4 beers to the Oilers, boys. You gotta love it. These boys are feeling it right now. I guess you win 5 in a row in the playoffs right now, and everyone was doubting you. You just start slamming these beers.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And by the way, Puck P there said that Trent Frederick's making $5.75. Is that right?
Well, it's a prorated because they chewed off some of the spot.
Yeah. I was like, fucking league minimum. That's league minimum is what, $8.50? So yeah, it could be. I just saw that come up. 2.3. Okay, there you go. That makes more sense. Up dog. Fuck, he's bleeding Oilers orange and blue over here, folks. He's fucking loving it. Fort Mac boy. Boys, always drink responsibly, but get some blue lights in you. Moving on, it's the Missin Curfew. Dog of the week. Boys, you know I'm an old school guy. Up dog, you played against me. I love cross checks. I love protecting the blue paint. I love in the corner. I used to love when the puck would go in the corner. I was like excited. I'm like, let's go get that and see what goes on. And this kid, I don't even know if I'm going to say his name right. Lian Bichel, big number 6 from the Dallas Stars. I'm watching game 1. He's cross-checking guys in the corner. He's fucking roughing guys up in front of that. And kudos to the refs for letting him get away with it. I was worried they're going to call him on a cross-check. 6'7", Swishy said from Switzerland, which I didn't know. But big boy, keep her going. Fuck, they're dying breeds up, dog and Swishy. But cross-checking, finishing guys in the corner. He's my Missin Curfew dog of the week, Swishy. That's playoff hockey to me, my man.
Yeah. Grew up in Switzerland, it looks like. Played his juniors in Sweden. The pride of Olten, Switzerland. Former first-round pick, 18th overall. Big fucker. Big tree fall hard back there. But, yeah, he's playing tough. And especially for a European, you don't see that all the time. I'm not trying to be prejudiced against a European defenseman, but a lot of times they're soft, Obes. This kid's got some old school in him. He's protecting the paint. And I love at playoff time when you see the big boys where you just start boxing out right from the corner. And Obes, you were probably one of those guys. You the stick up right in the guy's face, under his chin, and he can't move. He can't even get to the dot, let alone the blue paint. So I love watching this kid play, and that's just old school hockey.
How many cows is this guy tipping over in Switzerland back in the day?
He does look like Dougie Murray kind of.
He looks like Doug Murray.
Can you pull him up again?
Plays like Doug Murray.
KC, pull him up again.
Big fucking melon on him.
Yeah, that one, top right looks like Dougie Murray a little bit. I remember I fought Dougie Murray in the minors. I thought he was from like fucking Alberta or Saskatchewan. I go the notes, Stockholm, Sweden. I'm like, holy fuck, that guy's tough.
Well, this kid's been a problem out there for in the first round, and now
we gotta give some love if we're talking rugged defenseman Petrovic. Oh, Alex Petrovic still out there mucking it up. Good kid. All right, boys, moving on here around the National League. Big news out of Southern California, right in me and the Updog's backyard. Bittersweet a bit for me here. I wanted the Real Rocket talk it. I was hoping the Real Rocket talk it. I was already talking to Ice Pick's dad about getting him the fucking penthouse at the Bay Club. Fucking, I was like, move him in. But anyways, Joel Quenneville expected to be named the head coach of the Anaheim Ducks.
As of 10 minutes ago, they announced it. He is the coach.
There he goes. That's why we pay KC the big bucks there. He is the next head coach of the Anaheim Ducks. If it wasn't going to be talks, I think this is a great hire. Everyone that's played for him loves him. Richardson loves him. Hopefully we get to know this guy up, dog. But Joel Quenneville to the Ducks.
I've had a chance the last couple of years at Chaser's event to sit with him and talk with him, have a whiskey, have a cigar, play little cards. The guy is a great dude, man. He deserves a second chance. I think the Ducks made a great decision with their team currently where they're at with all their youth. Hell, you look at the way Chicago was built back in the day when he first took them over. A lot of similarities. This team's on the up and up. They've done a hell of a job drafting. They're close. They just need a good leader. And this guy with that stash, boys, is going to be a great. Is going to be a great addition to Newport Beach, to the Big Canyon men's room, and I can't wait to have him here, Obes.
Yeah, boys, and I never got a chance to really hang out with Q, but my bro played for him for 2.5 years in Chicago, and Obes, every time they would come in to the locker room after a big win, I guess Q would just let out like just a sigh of relief and be like, "Nobody loves winning more than me, baby." They would be just so fired up, like a little pumper nickel Selly. And I remember that's what Nick would always tell me is he'd come in the locker room after a big win, he'd be like, "Nobody loves winning more than me, baby." So hopefully they can bring that to Southern California a little bit, get this team back on track. But just an all-time gem of a coach. One of the best to ever do it. So hopefully he can get these boys going.
Yeah, I think it's a great hire for you. Got to bring a veteran guy in, right? With a nice young core like that, a Stanley Cup winner, a proven guy, players coach. I think it's going to be a great fit for them. Princey posted a thing today about him just yelling on the back of the bench, "Peanut butter!" He's like, "Tater, what a fucking shot. Peanut butter!" I'm like, this is a guy I could play for. And I just remember Billy Brookbank, Sheldon Brookbank always being like, Coach Q, his practices are, I don't want to use the word easy, but like laid back, same drills all the time. Just get in there, get a sweat, get out. Like he really knows how long of a season it is. And another thing about Coach Q that I used to always love is he would always let the Blackhawks go to Vegas during the season. Before there was a Vegas Golden Knights team, they'd come out here on the West Coast, and he would always go to Vegas every year. Like, what a guy that is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fucking right. That's how you get your team to play hard for you.
That's how you get your team to play hard for you. So, moving on to back up the Brinks truck. Beep, beep, beep. Back it up. We're staying with the Anaheim Ducks. Up dog. Henry Samueli. He must listen to Missin Curfew. You know, he must listen to it on his way to the office or before he's seeing his stocks go up and down, because you've been shitting on the Honda Center for the last 3 fucking years, and he's going to spend $1 billion on a new Honda Center, not a new one, but to fucking lift it up. I've seen the plans. It looks nice. I'm happy he's spending money. $1 billion, man. He must be listening to
huge. It's huge. The parking's a shit show currently, but they're trying to fix
parking pass.
They're trying to fix that. It's just nowadays, boys. You look at like how to compete come July 1 with free agents who get a once in a lifetime chance to hit a home run and to go somewhere where they're going to bring their family and they're going to be at the rink every day. And you want to provide them with a good state-of-the-art product, because a lot of these rinks now are new. And, you know, look at Utah and Ryan Smith. He's putting in money, you know, to build a new barn. What Vegas has done, that word has traveled around the league. Look at the way, you know, Canada treats all their guys, like Toronto and these places that have great facilities. So it's nice that they're going to compete. You obviously don't have to compete with the weather here. The weather's great. But when the taxes are shitty like this, you got to have an advantage and a new, you know, amazing place to play your hockey at, to bring your family in to watch your games. You know, the concerts are going to be great here. It's just a good thing. And I think it's something we need. This rink I think it was built in 92 or 93. It's old now.
Yeah, I know. It's weathered for sure. Swish, what do you think of the Honda Center? Have you ever seen a match at the Honda Center, fella?
Yeah, I sat at your boys.
Oh yeah, that's
on the
right.
glass there, and I played a couple games there as well. But if you're spending $1 billion, why don't you just get a new rink?
I was just thinking that. I was like, how much does a new barn cost you?
Probably $5 billion.
Yeah. Like, how much did it cost KC for what's his name to build that new Inuit dome? What's his name that owns Stephen Ballmer? Is that his name? More pissers than any stadium there. You don't have to wait to piss there, boys. There's fucking pissers everywhere. It's awesome. It's so futuristic, up dog. It's right up your wheelhouse.
$2 billion.
$2 billion. So, Swishy, listen, when you live out here and you realize, you know, Anaheim is technically part of Orange County, is it part?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not really Orange County, right? Like,
well, it's not near the beach, but
if you could somewhere build a rink like
down in Irvine,
around
Spectrum, where basically the
what about those
high points?
What about those 2 big hangars out there that are taking up space? Why don't we mow those hangars down and fucking build it right there?
Do you mean those
the whole big shitty hangars on John Wayne, by John Wayne, the 2 big hangars that they don't use anymore? Fucking bulldoze those to the ground and build a new barn right there, right off of the
405.
Yes, thank you.
That'd be nice. I think it's
just
still a little
show getting to Honda Center, right?
It show.
That's the top. Even in the Sprinter van, even in the Missin Curfew Sprinter van. But listen, good on Henry Samuel. He takes some heat sometimes, right? Doesn't spend the cap. You know, Honda Center's weathered, like you said. Good on him. Good on him to reinvest into him.
Really good.
And last but not least, here at Missin Curfew, before we get into our guest, it's the Jägermeister Iciest Shot of the Night, presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister, damn, that's cold. For more, visit Jägermeister.com. And fellas, always drink responsibly. Up dog, we're going back to your Oilers, buddy. Listen, it feels like before you roll at KC, feels like, remember last year we were at the Canucks Oilers game and some beauty in Vancouver chirped Connor Brown. He's like, hey, Connor, you got 2. Remember he didn't have a goal the whole fucking year?
Crazy.
But listen, he's come a long way and rolling here. This is our Jäger Iciest Shot of the Night. I mean, he shows his wheels. You talked about him blown by Theodore here. This is a great inside out. And then just to bury it, boom. Damn, that's cold. That's like snapping home. Don't fuck around with the drink. Yeah, here. Cheers. I'll go Oilers. Eh?
Connor Brown, let's go.
Cheers, buddy.
Make me proud, fella.
Downtown Brown, baby.
That's a great shot. Damn, that's cold. Look at that. Head up. Spink.
Yeah.
Fucking right. What's Hill doing? Get out there.
It's road hockey. It's road hockey style there, Aiden Hill.
This guy's Connor Brown, though, Swish. He's skating as good as I can remember. I don't really remember him in Ottawa, but right now he seems to be flying.
Yeah, he's playing it back to the Washington days. He's playing it back to not even the Washington days, the Toronto days when he was buzzing around, 20 goal scorer, and
he
played junior. with Connor McDavid. And I think that was the pipeline to get him there with old Chucky Knobloch. So, yeah, he looks good. Skate well. That move was a big-time move. A little inside out on Theodore, how are you? And then stuffs it in on Aiden Hill. So, yeah, big-time goal and a timely goal. And if he can play like that, man, these Oilers, they're dangerous, baby.
The depth of the Edmonton Oilers up front is showing itself. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was telling you, boys, they got some depth up there. They got veteran depth. And this time of year, as you guys know, as you know, veteran depth. So, Swishy, you the man. Up dog, thank you. We got friend of the show, good guy, good East Coaster, good golfer, Drake Batherson from the Ottawa Senators coming up next. Fellas, welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, Richie fella, friend of the show. Guy I like to sit in the dressing room with. If my stall was beside this guy on the road, I'd be like, fucking right, this is nice.
How about like a dinner on the road?
Blah, blah. Yeah, he'd be in my inner circle. I had a tight inner circle. He'd be in my inner circle. But Drake Batherson, Bath, thank you, buddy. Congrats on a hell of a year, and thank you for always being so kind to Missin Curfew and joining us, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, boys. Huge fan of the show. Love listening to you guys all the time. Make me laugh. So you guys are the best.
Yeah, well, thank you. I followed you guys' team a lot down the stretch, brother, and I was pulling for you and Brady and obviously Travis Green, and I thought you guys really took a lot of strides this year. We're going to get into that, but first and foremost, how's the year-end bender? How was it? I mean, I missed a lot of things about the game, and you know, it sucks when you get beat out, but then once you realize it's over and it's been a great year and you get to enjoy your time with your brothers, how was that last little hurrah for the fellas?
Yeah, no, it was great. I'm still hairing the dog a little bit here today, but the 3 days there, pretty good rip. So no, it's always fun at the end of the year. Obviously, it's not the finish we wanted, but last little rip, the boys before everyone goes home. It's always a good time, as you guys know.
Yeah, Bath, before we get in the playoffs, I want to talk a little Four Nations with you. Like, coming back from that break, even us guys watching the games, and, you know, I'm just watching it and betting on it, and I'm like, fuck, they're playing again. Like, how much hockey was that for you boys down the stretch? You guys caught fire, but, like, was that the most stretch of hockey you've played in your career? Because it seemed like every team throughout the league was playing, you know, 3, maybe 4 games a week.
Yeah, it was a lot, and Ottawa hosted the World Juniors this year, so we had, like, over a month straight on the road. So we had that, and then kind of right into the break, and then pretty much every second day. I think we had like 5 or 6 back-to-backs in January, which was tough. And no, it was a lot of hockey, but we were playing good, so it was kind of nice to just keep rolling.
I know this is your first playoff experience, but, you know, down the stretch, as Obi asked, with all those games together, all meaning so much, was the message from, you know, Greener and the boys, you know, the Giroux and the David Perrons, was it like, hey guys, this is now playoff hockey for us? These are do or die games. And like, kind of what was that feeling like, you know, going into such important matches leading up to the playoffs for you guys?
Yeah, big time. I mean, ever since I think 1st of March came around, the standings were so tight, especially in our division. So felt like we were playing playoff games for a month before playoffs there. Brady kept saying it, like, another game 7 tonight, boys. There's like 25 games left per year. And how many game 7s are we playing here? Yeah. But no, it was fun, and we played really well down the stretch, and the buzz in the city came around when we were sniffing around a playoff spot, and it was crazy to see this city turn around and how loud it was in there. It was unbelievable.
Did you guys, just, you know, as former getting your first time in the playoffs, did you find like that grind getting to the playoffs was kind of took a little wind out of your sails with energy wise going into the playoffs? So that's a long stretch to be kind of in that playoff fight or flight mode. And you guys are a young team trying to, you know, learn how to get to that playoff. Did you find that kind of took a little toll on you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say for my first time going through it, but, you know, definitely, I think, like I said, the standings were so tight. We played so many games against teams in our division. So at the time, I didn't know what a playoff game felt like, but after being through the playoffs, it was definitely a playoff type of game for, you know, the last 15, 20 games. So it was good, I think, just to get us prepared for the playoffs. But for sure, it's definitely draining. And I think after game 2, I was like, holy fuck. I don't know how these guys go 4 rounds, but it just shows what a grind it is to try and win the thing.
No kidding.
Yeah, I want to talk about your head coach, Greener. You know, I played with Greener my rookie year. I love Greener. He's been a friend of mine ever since then. And I thought it was a great fit going in there with an up-and-coming team, yourself, Brady, Timmy Stutzel. You finally got a number 1 goaltender. After his training camp, after his first couple of days of training camp, which I still disagree with, so we don't have to talk about that. But, like, What was Greener's message throughout the season? Was it we got to be a playoff team, or just get better as the season goes on? What was his message to the boys throughout the season?
Yeah, no, I think the goal was obviously to make the playoffs. It's been so long since we did, but with Greener, it was just all about the process. I feel like every day, just kind of staying in the moment, trying to get better with each day, and he did a great job with our team this year. He was awesome along with the rest of the staff, and held everyone accountable. And I think that's why we got a lot better, just defensively and just overall, I think. So no, every guy on the team loved him, and he was so good for us, and nothing but great things to say about him.
I was going to ask you about your assistant coach, Mike. How's that relationship with him? I had him in St. Louis. He was an assistant to start off, and the long story goes back to I was in Philly playing against Pittsburgh Conference Finals. He's coaching with Michelle Therrien, and I was kind of running around doing my thing, and I fucking laid out Jordan Stahl in this one game, and then he sends Tyler Kennedy after me the next game, right? Yosie's like, hey, TK, challenge this Upshaw off the jaw. He's not going to do anything. He's going to back down, right? So I was like, what the fuck?
Can't back down from Tyler Kennedy. Can't back down from Tyler Kennedy.
He wants to fight me on fucking center ice. I'm like, okay, right? And Yosi, I guess this funny story, but TK came back and was like, fuck Yosi. Like, he said he was going to back down, right? And we had a pretty good tilt. Little fucker threw some good punches.
He's scrappy.
Scrappy. So Yosi, but I could see the relationship he has as assistant coach with some of the players. And, I had him as assistant and a head, but his relationship maybe with Greener, they both came over together from Vancouver. He was great with like the PK guys and the forwards, but how was your relationship with him? And was he able to get like that fire out of the guys? Because, he was able to get that out of us.
Yeah, no, it's funny the way you said his name, because Ferrand does that all the time. So that's hilarious. But no, he was great. He was a forward coach. Him and Elfie was running the power play, and he was awesome. Very nice guy, just shoot the shit with, have a coffee, and at the same time learned a lot from him. And he's been around for a long time, coached a lot of good players. So him, along with all the other staff, were just a great fit, honestly. And it was an awesome year with every one of them.
Yeah, just touching on your coaches there, Stan, you just brought up his name, Alfredson. I'm kind of curious what his kind of role is. And to me, you guys kind of play a similar style game a little bit. So I wonder how much you kind of pick his brain and as being a kind of an Ottawa legend.
Yeah, it was funny last year. Like, he was kind of like the fourth coach or whatever. So he'd kind of just show up to the rink, go out, mess around on the ice, and go home. He wasn't really doing a whole lot of video. And then last year, when we got rid of some coaches, he kind of took over the power play. And then same with this year. But no, he's so great. It's like having one of the boys. I mean, he played for so long. You just talk to him about whatever. It's golf or talking hockey. He's just awesome, and learn a lot from him. He'll just call guys in, show you shootout moves for 10 minutes, see what you think, and just little things you can ask him. Power play, he's done it all. So he's awesome to have behind the bench, and really common presence. He's great.
I gotta be honest, I hated Daniel Alfredson growing up.
He was so good. He was good.
I'm looking at a picture of him right here. Like this was when he had the long hair with the Jolfa bucket, and I was a Leafs fan. I'm like, someone get that. Someone get him. Someone get him.
Try to get a lick on this guy.
Yeah,
get him.
Right? We didn't play against him though, did we? We're not.
Oh yeah, we played. For sure. Yeah, he not until like 2010 or somewhere in there. Yeah,
really. Yeah, that's on your cup run.
Yeah.
He was good, man. Like
no, I know that.
A lot of legends stick around and still are part of the Sens. He's all fame.
Where did he go after Ottawa?
Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Right?
all the Swedes.
It wasn't the same though.
Oh, come on over here. Hey, come play with Nicky Lindstrom and Zetterberg and the boys. Hey, we'll prolong your career for you. But
how much you want? You want $1 million bucks? Yeah.
Bath, the boys were talking about down the stretch, but you guys were going on such a heater there that you did give yourself a little bit of a breathing room. Like, did that help at all? Did you guys take your foot off the gas at all when you saw, okay, we're up, 6 or 7 points on Montreal? Or was it, hey, until we get that check mark beside our name, let's not piss this thing away? Because about 2 weeks before the season, I was like, you boys are in. And then I'm like, fuck, I hope I didn't jinx them here. But was it just until we get that check mark, every game is so important?
Yeah, no, I think we played Montreal with like 6-7 games left, and if we lost the game, there would have been like 2 or 4 point difference. But if we won, we would have got some breathing room, and we were able to win that. And then we clinched. We were in Columbus with like 4 games left, so a lot of guys sat out most of the rest of the games there at the end of the year, and were able to get some rest. But I didn't get the call for that one. I was out there. I was out there grinding.
That's good.
A couple more games played for you. When you're our age, you'll look back and be like, I'm glad I played those last 6 or 7. Greener didn't give me a night off.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind playing. I love playing, so it's all good.
So I was always looking for rest, though, down the stretch. I'm like, I'll take some rest here, boys. If we got our clinch division here, I'll take a little rest. But I like those games played back now.
Game splitter night.
I got a few more.
Point night, bud. Point night.
I wasn't getting any points. It wasn't about points.
Hey, Bath. So playoffs. We've all been there. It's the time of the year to shine, right? Yeah. Every game on TV is watched by everybody. Every play means so much. You're looking back now. It's a few days off, weekend off. What are the moments of like your first playoff stretch against Toronto Maple Leafs, one of your rivals, that you're able to like sit back with your younger guys and cherish, right? Like it didn't go the way it didn't want, but now your team has been there. What are you able to like look back on and say as a young player like yourself, like, wow, that was what I need to get back to? Like what's the team's kind of atmosphere like for that?
Yeah, no, it was cool. Like you always wondered what, a playoff series would be like. And, it took some of us 7-8 years to get there. And, looking back on it, it's just unreal. I mean, I usually have 3-4 coffees before a game. I think before game one, I had like 1 coffee and I was just jittering. I'm like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. Just the crowd and everything. I think the first like 2-3 games we were probably pretty nervous. And then honestly, the games like that we had to win, we were probably the most calm, which was, it just shows how much, just some leadership and older guys can help on a team being through all that. So, when we get back there again, I think we'll be more prepared and, what's coming for us. But, just the atmosphere in the rinks were just unbelievable. And the hockey's just so much different than regular season. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's my question for you. On a personal level, what was, you're a skilled guy that, when you're at the top of your game, you're dictating the pace, you're making plays, you see the ice very well. Personally, what was the biggest thing? The pace, the physicality, the time and space, or all that? What was the hardest part for you? The biggest adjustment that you learned back?
Yeah, I think just the time and space. I mean, the one game we scored with like 3 minutes left in overtime. I think we had 18 shots on net the whole game. So I just found it hard to get shots through. And, some nights you get 3-4 grade A chances and you might get 3-4 in a whole playoff series. So it's just so tight and it's so hard to score and make plays, but it's a good learning curve for us. I think, like I said, we'll be better. We'll be better when we come back again.
A little more time and space against the Sabres in March, eh? Fuck, a little more time and space there at the old Keystone Arena, whatever it's called here, then. But
oh, Bath, I gotta ask you this, buddy. I grew up in Belleville, Ontario. Shane spent a lot of time with me there.
Texas, baby.
Oh, baby, we ran that town dry, but. Nick Cousins is a good friend of mine, and I was just texting with him just to get to know you a little bit. But I know you spent some time there. I'm just curious how your time was living in Belleville, and if you ran into any of my buddies or old friends.
Yeah, I actually loved it. I mean, I'm from a small town of 3,000 people, so going to Belleville my first year pro, it felt pretty big, and everyone else was saying how like small this town is and nothing to do. But I actually really enjoyed it. My mom grew up there. My dad played junior there, so knew a bit about it going in. And we had a great group of guys. I mean, we had like 17 guys without their girls there. So we had
there we go.
So we had a great time. I was living with 3 or 4 guys every year, and it felt like we were playing junior again. We had such a young team, and really enjoyed my time. I like Burger Revolution there. I'm sure you heard of that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, was there a lot, and Chilangos, the old Mexican spot down there. So.
That's about all there is. You got Montana's Cookhouse Saloon.
Yeah. No, it was. I really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun there.
It's funny you say that because I grew up in a small town of like 12,000 people. So when I started training with this guy, I played Quinny in Belleville and then started training with him. Belleville was like going to the city for me. I'm like, there's way more options here, right? There's more everything. I was like, let's do it. I love Belleville, but looking back on it, it wasn't. But we had a great time.
We had the best time, dude.
Yeah, maybe too good a time. After you left, Little Texas closed, didn't it? It couldn't keep up without you.
She's back.
Yeah. Bath, I wanted to ask you, so you guys clinch, and then boom, it's the Battle of Ontario. And, it's been since I think it was 2002 when I was a kid growing up watching, from the Leafs perspective, I was a Leafs fan. Tucker, Corson, Roberts, and on the, Sens side, Chris Neal, Chris Phillips, Wade Redden, guys like that were going to war. Like, once the series got started, I know you could feel it, but could you feel it before, or were you guys just, hey, we're in the playoffs, doesn't matter if it's the Battle of Ontario or whatever, or could you feel the buzz in the province before you even got kicked off?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like a week before playoffs started, it was kind of looking like we were going to play them, and everyone was talking about the Battle of Ontario. So, I mean, there's so many eyes when the Leafs are playing, let alone a Battle of Ontario. So, it was super fun with all the history, like you said, back in the day, and to be able to be a part of it. And like I said, just to see how this city rallied around us, and the bar street was jam packed on a Tuesday night, people partying in the road, and just seeing that for the first time was so cool, and to see how much it means to the people here at Battle Ontario, it was awesome, and just wish we could have came out on the other side of it, but that was super fun.
You talked about, the fact that guys go 4 rounds like this and play fucking hard every night, play fast, play hurt. Were there guys on your team that you seen them, they're banged up and you were, maybe they couldn't play, but you were witnessing them like go outside their shell and be like a guy that you'd never seen before play hurt? Like, were some of your guys banged up? I mean, you don't have to tell us all, but this time of year, you're expecting everyone to just, give it everything you got. Did you see that in your room?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, there's a handful of guys there. Like Cousins, for example, he came back off like a broken leg and some with his knee, came back so early playing. Just Jensen, I don't think he took a team practice since November. He was grinding. Chucky was grinding. So there's a few guys battling, and it's pretty cool. I mean, just to see what guys go through to get out there and play, and yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's the best thing about hockey, I think.
Yeah, and Bath, it was a tight series, right? It went 6, the 3 OT games in the middle of the series. Tough one, obviously, game 3 at home. You guys lost in overtime. But talk to me about going into Toronto, winning game 5. Bring me into the room after that, back on the plane. I don't know if it was that night or the next day. Like, I remember in Nashville, we went into Vancouver and we won a game 5 down 3-1, and we're like coming back and we're like, fuck, we're still in this thing. Like, for a young group, how was that feeling on the bird, on the bus after the game? Like, fucking rights, boys. We're going back for 6. These fuckers are thinking now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we win game 4 there and go back to Toronto at game 5. And I mean, we were just saying all the pressure's on them, really, how to close it out. And we got nothing to lose. Let's just go out and see what we could do. And obviously a huge win. We come back home, and the crowd, like I said, was just like, I've never seen anything like it. So if we would have won that one, it would have been interesting for sure to see what happened in game 7. But no, like you said, the pressure's all on them to close it out, and we went in there and got it done. And it was fun to see the belief in the group for sure.
I got a couple more. I was invested in the Sens, baby. I got a couple more here. But
I love the Sens.
I was fucking invested. As a guy from Port Hope, Ontario, who was a Leafs fan, I jumped ship quickly. It took you and Brady, but a couple guys on your back end that really took some strides. Through the regular season, they did down the stretch. But Sanderson, who we saw in the Four Nations, and I was kind of his coming out party. But I thought this playoffs, and Thomas Chabot, another guy that's been a Sen for a long time, and you talk about those years of not making the playoffs. Those boys had some big minutes, and I really thought Chabot got better as the series went on. Like, I thought game 4 and 5 were maybe his best games of the series. Like, those are 2 guys you guys could build your back end around, huh?
100%. I mean, like you said, what Sandy did at the Four Nations is kind of showed everyone around the league what he's all about. I remember he was coming in at like 19, 20 years old, and usually a high first-round pick D-man, lots of offense, and got to work on the defensive side, but he was like almost the opposite, man. Like, I couldn't believe how good defensively he was, and right away he's playing shutdown since his first game, and his offense took a huge step this year. Like, he had almost 60 points on the back end, so he had a great year. And like you said about Chabot, he's another guy. He's a gamer, can skate for days, poised with the puck, and both those guys are awesome guys too. You want to be around them, go for dinner with them. So they're just all around great guys.
Yeah, last couple hockey ones for me, and then we can talk some golf and some fun stuff that Richie wants to dive into with you here. Claude Giroux, I heard Stevie Stais, in his post-season press conference say we want to bring him back. We all know it's a business, but, his game is still there. Like, he played great for you guys, but more importantly, Brady's told me this, like how much he means in the room to you boys. And the fact that he makes you guys watch Entourage in there, I mean, I'd bring him back just on that reason alone. I win.
Yeah, he's the best. I mean, I think this guy's seen every movie and every show out there. every game day, like we have lunch in the lounge there. He's throwing on a new flick, and he'll tell you everything about it. So no, he's the best. Obviously been around forever. Amazing player. He was actually one of my favorite players growing up to watch. This is a right-handed centerman, and I always tell him that I say I can't wait to watch my favorite player. And no, he's a great guy. Common presence. Kind of been through it all, and he still gets it done. I mean, he's so smart. One of the smartest players I think I've ever watched, and his stick strength is unreal on the puck. So I think he could play for as long as he wants to. But we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can get him back.
He's going to have to.
Yeah, he invented that high step out lefty shot. Like Braden Shen and Scott Hartnell started their careers off with that high power play shot, just from Drew sucking everyone in with a little sauce pass.
Yeah.
He's so silky.
He can still work the half wall nicely.
And his face-offs, man, he was one of the hardest guys in the face-off dot. That's me.
Buddy, his face-offs all playoffs were huge. That was another reason I'm like, you got to bring this guy back.
Oh, for sure. But he is, as a face-off guy, he was one of the hardest they ever went against. It was really hard against him. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's got a lot of little tricks. He uses his feet. He's always chirping. He's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like before every game, there's an iPad in his stall, and it's just of every centerman other team face-offs, and he just studies that thing before the game.
Hell.
Yeah, and he just rakes them back. It's awesome.
Face-offs will keep you in the league. As Rich knows over here. We played a golf tournament yesterday, a little Big Brothers Big Sisters charity. Ain't giving back, Bathy? And the guy goes, "How long did you play in the NHL?" Rich just said 17 years. I went, "Holy fuck, 17? Hey, way to keep the face-off percentage up there, fella. Holy fuck,
There's a battle.
Just shot blocking face-offs and being a glue guy." I was like, "Fucking hey, Richie, When you said 17 years, I was like, wow, that's impressive." So face-offs are important is where I'm going.
There it is.
Bathy, let's talk some golf here before we let you go, buddy. I know this was during when you were playing, but did you get to watch any of the Masters down the stretch there? Were you boys playing? I mean, Rory that chunk shot on 13 was O'Brien-esque, buddy. That looked like me fucking during my member guest, just chunk city.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. We played at 1:00, and all the boys stayed in the lounge after and watched it, and I was like, "There's no way." And then he puts her in the sand there on 18, misses that short one. I'm like, "Here we go again." It's like the U.S. Open there a year ago, but happy to see him get it done. I mean, it was pretty cool, but I mean, I love that tournament. I hope to get there one day and see it in person, but just watch it on TV. It's the best.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the pod, and I'm not going to name the guy that said it to me, though, but he reached out. He said, "Hey, Obes, I might have a hookup at Augusta for the fellas. I might have a hookup. A couple of my business." I'm like, "Putty, you should, I'm following through with this one. You shouldn't open that door unless you're going to, because I'm coming right through. So hopefully, you are out there, you beauty. Hopefully you can come through for me. I've never been there."
He's talking for us? Come through for us, right?
Well, yeah, for us. Yeah, for us. Well, I thought I'd get my foot in the door, know a couple of members, and then we're going to bring the whole squad
together. Let's do it together.
You got any trips planned? Any Cabot coming up with the boys? I know you talked about a good bunch of your buddies like to tee it up, but any trips coming down the stretch here before you start training again?
Yeah, I mean, I usually go to Ireland every year with the boys, or we'll see what happens there. They're going to go to the World Championships, so maybe after that. But yeah, I'm sure we'll rip up the Cabot. I mean, it's only just over 3 hours, I think, from my hometown, so it's not too far to get to. But nothing planned. Yeah, I've just been playing every day here in Ottawa, just chilling, and we'll see what happens.
What tracks you playing in Ottawa? Hunt Club?
Yeah, Hunt Club, but I met a bunch of guys there. There's 40, 50 guys, and it's awesome. Just play some games with those guys, and a couple of the boys are still around, so snap around with them. But whoever wants it, I'm game for it.
Is Brendan Bell still kicking around the Hunt Club?
Yeah, I'm actually really good friends with that whole family. His brother Benny's like a +4. He's unreal. Probably the best player I've played with. So I love hanging out at that place.
I grabbed Belzy in the conference finals, Toronto, Ottawa. I just grabbed him behind the net. He was like a power play quarterback, and I just grabbed him. I didn't give him a chance.
That's a big head, doesn't it?
Yeah, listen, I played 2 years of World Juniors with him.
He was 6 skill.
Yeah, you got to give him a what's up from me.
He could play Bath. He would play longer now. Like when he was coming up in our era, like it was, you got to be kind of more of, now he was just he was a power play specialist.
That's good. Really hard.
Him and remember Brian Rodney?
All good junior players.
Yeah.
I don't know, 67s.
Bath, I got snubbed off the Kingston Frontenac's all-century team. I didn't even make the second squad. There's guys.
I know. I was listening to the pod. I heard you going off about it.
I was choked, bud. I'm like, fuck, 10 years in the National League, boys. There's got guys on there. Brian Rodney didn't play a game in the league. I don't care how many points he had in fucking Ontario.
Maybe the off-ice issues, maybe, no? Or
The off-ice issues hadn't quite hit yet there. I was still kind of keeping her together, maybe sneaking some beer on the bus the odd time, but not. It wasn't to where it got to. I'll tell you.
Bathy, you just mentioned Ireland. I've only been over there once, but there's some amazing golf courses. Where are you playing over there, like Ballybunny and Old Head, all those ones? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every course down there in the south.
Waterville's great.
Yeah, Waterville is unreal. Old Head, La Hinch, Tralee, good ones. I've been to them all pretty much. Yeah, it's a great trip over there. A good time. Guinness is unreal too.
I'll tell you what, next year, actually, you guys are probably going to a cup final next year, but if you guys don't, we got to Billy Quinn will go over. I'm planning on going next year, so Bath, maybe we'll little Hogshead there as home base and Waterville, Tralee. I haven't played Lynch or Ballybunion.
Ballybunyon's great.
Yeah, I haven't played that. Yeah, we didn't quite make it there.
Couple weird holes there at Ballybunion too.
Yeah,
hitting over the greens and stuff. Yeah,
But you hit over Cemetery, I think, off the first tee, right?
Yeah. It's like I think it's on the right if I can remember. Yeah.
hit over greens. It's great though.
you almost put us in the cemetery by the end of the 10 days of golf. Fuck, you should have seen us, Bath. Old washed up hockey players, me loops and ups. My feet and my elbow from hitting little stingers was just like hanging on by a thread. I'm like, I can't hit any more punch 4-irons here, boys. I got, get me back to Cali. But it was great.
Walking some of those courses too is just a grind. I'm just bagging for a cart a couple of those days.
How great are the caddies over there, though? Huh? The caddies are such beauties.
Oh man, I could just sit there all day and just listen to them talk too. I just love the accent on them, but yeah, they're beauties for sure.
Bath, we joked. We were talking about Missin Curfew at the end of the regular season. How long we used to take off, right? I used to take a good month and a half off before I even went in for an executive workout or anything like that. And then I wasn't on the ice till August 1st. But like, do you like to take a little bit of a breather here? Like, I know it was your first playoff, so you got to the first round and it's a little longer than you're used to. Or what's your plan moving forward with your body and getting back into a routine?
Yeah, no, I'm the same kind of way. A month and a half off. I think the earlier I start, I find a couple of years I started early, and by end of July, August, I just was feeling burnt out. So last year was like a month and a half off and felt great. So probably do similar to that again.
Yeah. All right, Bathwell, buddy, we really appreciate it. We definitely got to tee it up sooner than later, but enjoy your off season, buddy. Hell of a year, and thank you for always being so cool with Missin Curfew, buddy. We truly appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Fellas, welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog Richie fella. Thanks to Bath, Drake Batherson, friend of the show, listens to the show. Right? Fucking, you're on the plane a lot, riding a lot of buses when you got to tune into this. But no, we appreciate him listening. But great kid, and I watched the Sens play a lot down the stretch. His game, went to the next level, in my opinion. I think Travis Green was a big part of that. I think being in the playoff hunt was a big part of that. And then, he joked about his turnover in game 2 before we got on the air. That's a learning curve, right? We've all been there. He knows it was a bad play. He'll be better for it. But I'm always pulling for that kid, and he got me to jump ship from the Leafs to the Sens. Him and Brady alone and Greener, baby.
I would just say this, outside looking in, is whoever was part of his team as a leadership guy early in his career did the right job. The NHL with youth like him and Brady and the younger kids in Ottawa, like that's promising. To me, that's what the NHL is all about, is good brotherhood, good camaraderie. And this kid, well, he's not a kid, he's 28 years old, 27. It's good to know that these guys are like that, working hard, enjoying themselves, playing golf with the buddies, enjoying moments like the NHL experience he just had in the playoffs. But he's a great kid, and I'd love to tee it up with him.
Yeah,
it's a handicap. That's
it.
So also obviously take him as a partner. He'll make you and I play together. Yeah, for sure.
Boys, you got to put the low at the high. You got to put the low at the high. That's how she works.
That is actually how she works.
That's how she works. Yeah, good kid though. I love this time. Love his time in Bell Vegas, fella.
That was nice to hear.
Who didn't like their time in Bell Vegas?
I know, but I thought he might be like, oh, it's a little sleepy, but he loved it. And
well, I mean, listen, there's some tough American League towns. I mean, I would put Belleville ahead of a lot of like Utica, New York, Albany, New York, Bingo, Portland, Maine. I lived there. I mean, Belleville.
Any good looking girls come out of Belleville like back in the day? Like, is there did any of the NHLers scoop one as a wife, or to your knowledge?
Shawzy.
Shawzy? Who? Oh yeah, Andrew Shaw, wife's from Belleville. Okay,
Bubble.
Did he? Yeah. He said, yeah, Shawzy.
And that was nice local girl, Jeanette. She's great.
Hey, Bubba had good-looking girls.
Great.
Trillium Woods Golf Course.
Best
Yeah.
half in the league.
Good park girls there.
Best, but yeah, unbelievable.
Great stat.
We would always, me and Richie either play Trillium or Black Bear. Black Bear has the better track, right?
Yeah.
But the staff was better at Trillium, so I'm like, let's go play Trillium today. Let's go play
Trill
Trillium.
Jagger on the
Thursday afternoon. Let's go play Trillium today. See what we got going.
We got a weekend.
See what we got going.
Set something
Let's shoot 85 there, shoot 88 there.
Let's shoot 90 there. Oh, Richardson used to kick my dude. I mean, you kicked my ass a lot too when we first started playing golf, but Richardson would kick my ass. It wasn't even close. I don't even know if we could gamble. It was such a mismatch back then. We didn't have much money.
The one thing I remember though is I'd always be eating like chips and snacks and shit, and he'd get pissed off at me. He's stop eating that shit.
Yeah.
If I look at a salad, I put on 10 pounds.
Yeah. He'd be getting like
Sitting there snacking.
Well, same with him. He saw that side too, but you'd be getting a turn, getting dog. I'm like, he's like, you want something? I'm like, no, I do, but fuck, no, I can't eat. I'm not allowed to eat. Let's just hurry up. Fuck. Let's go drink. I can drink. I'm sacrificing food for drink.
Vodka waters.
Yeah. But anyways, boys, thanks to Bath. Sens Nation is back. He's a big part of it. Brady, that was funny too. He's like, another game 7. He's like 25 games left.
So funny.
Thanks, Bath. Updog, Richie Felt, thank you. Thank you to Whole Pass Media, KC, Kyle Conway, Max, the Ice Pick Pickup. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.